Last week, the Lake County, Illinois Sheriff's Department held a press conference regarding their participation in the 287G program. Lake County Sheriff Mark Curran described the program, its purpose, and why it's so important for Lake County. The sheriff's first step was to assess the county's inmate population, who was there, where they were from, and what they'd done. As of August 6th, 137 of Lake County Jail's 637 inmates were foreign-born. The Open Borders crowd has been extremely vocal in accusing Lake County of targeting Hispanic immigrants. But who exactly is going to come under scrutiny with regards to immigration violations when 85% of their foreign-born inmates are from Latin America? A whopping 77%, 105 inmates, are from Mexico alone. The next closest country of origin is Poland, with 5. The list of criminal offenses includes all the usual suspects. The top 4 are DUI, aggravated DUI, sex offenses, and drug offenses. But get this, Lake County's murder rate could have been cut in half last year if our government had been doing its job. 7 of the 14 murders there were committed by illegal aliens. The saving of lives would of course be the best benefit citizens could ask for. But Sheriff Curran also pointed out that 22% of the current inmate population is made up of illegal aliens, and that being able to cut his budget by 22% would mean a savings of over $4 million for Lake County residents. He also noted the famed case of Prince William County, Virginia, who implemented the 287G program last year with much success. As a matter of fact, when Prince William embarked on the program, their illegal alien inmate population was 21%, almost exactly the same as Lake County. And what kind of results did they see in the first 12 months after starting 287G? Aggravated assault, down 18%. Crimes against persons, down 19%. Robberies, down 23%. Homicides, down 44%. And while Prince William County was busy deporting over 1,000 illegal aliens and watching crime plummet, their neighboring sanctuary county of Fairfax saw a 22% increase in crime. As Sheriff Curran noted, this is not a coincidence. When you add it all up, 287G is a clear winner for any city, town, or state willing to stand up to the ethnic pimps and open borders hustlers who are all too willing to see innocent Americans raped, robbed, and murdered so they can make a buck or gain political clout. What if we could cut the murder rate in America in half tomorrow by simply enforcing the laws already on the books? You do the math. The victim, Christopher Arndt Jr., 21, of Florida. The accused, Oscar Neftali Lopez Ramirez, 18, an illegal alien from Guatemala. The charges, leaving the scene of a crash with serious bodily injury, leaving the scene of a crash without giving information, driving without a license, and giving a false name. The story. Christopher Arndt was skating across an intersection in the crosswalk when Lopez Ramirez ran a red light and hit him, then sped off. Arndt suffered serious injuries and was airlifted to another county for medical care. Police caught up with Lopez Ramirez 3 miles away. His passengers say they urged him to stop, but he refused. Authorities report that he appeared unremorseful during questioning and gave them multiple false names before they were able to identify him, determined that he's been in the country illegally for 2 years and has no driver's license. Of course, if our feckless government had been doing its job, getting and keeping illegal aliens out of our country, Lopez Ramirez wouldn't have been here to drive illegally, lie his ass off about his identity in a desperate attempt to avoid the consequences of his actions, or smash into Christopher Arndt and leave him seriously injured in the street. And that makes this crime what? 100% preventable. The victims, 2 Florida women, ages 99 and 81. The accused, Jose Corrales, 33, an illegal alien. The charges, cocaine possession and 2 counts each of sexual battery, kidnapping, and occupied burglary with battery. The story. On June 22nd, Corrales forced his way into his 99-year-old victim's home after he spotted her taking out the trash. Amazingly, she attempted to fight this cowardly dirtbag off, but she was just too frail. Corrales shoved her to the floor so hard that her dentures flew across the room. He punched her in the face, arms, legs, back, and stomach as she begged for her life, then dragged her into the bedroom by her neck and forced her to perform oral sex. 2 months later, on August 24th, Corrales struck again, this time attacking an 81-year-old handicapped woman. Following a similar pattern, he stood in the second victim's doorway and tried to strike up a conversation. Again, he pushed his way inside and forced her to perform oral sex. This scumbag masquerading as a human being is in the country illegally and was working as a roofer. You know, one of those jobs Americans won't do, and confessed to police that he was the perpetrator of these brutal attacks. And you'll be shocked to know that Corrales is yet another white criminal as far as Miami-Dade County is concerned. Arizona white, that is. Of course, if our government had been doing its job, getting and keeping illegal aliens out of our country, Corrales wouldn't have been here to viciously attack and sexually assault an 81 and a 99-year-old woman. And that makes these crimes what? 100% preventable. In our lead story, we talked about how the Lake County Sheriff's Department is fighting illegal immigration, as any responsible public servant should, beginning with getting good information about who is there, what they're doing, and how much they're costing legal residents. Unfortunately, not all public servants are quite as responsible. Take Kansas, for example, where lawmakers recently decided not to study the economic impact of illegal immigration on their state. Yes, you heard right. They voted for it before they voted against it. And why? According to the committee members, and I quote so you can experience the full measure of silliness, it would have been too difficult to accurately measure. Representative John Grange, a Republican representing Mexico, El Dorado, quote, "I would say this is a waste of time." The question is, how can it possibly be a waste of time for those elected to spend the tax dollars of Kansans to find out how much illegal immigration is costing them? Unless, of course, you don't want to know the answer. Or more accurately, you don't want the legal, tax-paying residents of Kansas to know the answer. Governments count beans, folks. It's what they do. So when your government stops counting, refuses to count, you can pretty safely assume that the news isn't good. They know it isn't good. And they'll desperately use the power you've given them to keep you in the dark. We asked Ed Hayes, head of the Kansas Minutemen, why he thinks the politicians changed their minds, and he summed it up perfectly. Because they don't want folks to know the truth. Thanks for clicking in to this week's episode of the Blogs for Borders Video Blog Burst. This week's show is sponsored by Right Side News, your online source for accurate, verified information about threats against Western civilization. Frequent updates every day provide the latest news on Islamic Jihad here and abroad, the illegal alien invasion, and yes, exposing spineless politicians' refusal to address these very real threats. It's your life. It's your country. Make Right Side News your place to go for the right news for Americans. Now is the time we ask anyone who's able to hit the tip jar to help us keep Blogs for Borders coming every week. If you've been thinking about it but just haven't gotten around to it yet, now would be a great time. We have the opportunity to grow Blogs for Borders with a trip to D.C., but simply don't have the means to get there. We're putting ourselves in the hands of our viewers once again, and hope you'll consider pitching in if you agree that honest illegal immigration news is vital to our republic. Click on the Support Blogs for Borders button at freedomfolks.com. PayPal will take it from there. And until next week, be vigilant, be vocal, be unrelenting. We've got a country to save.